This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We got Steph in the building, and we're going to go ahead and break down this OKC, Knicks versus OKC game that's taking place tonight at 8 p.m. in OKC. And before we get that started, I do want to say to you, if you're interested in going to tomorrow night's home opener with the Westchester Knicks, we have 2 free tickets courtesy of NBK, Dope Soul, and Knicks and Bruises. All right, I'm putting a link in the chat right now. You can click on that link and fill out your information. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Okay, and tonight, after the post-game show, I'm going to do another one of those quick little 10-minute Westchester Knicks show so that we can announce the winner. All right, so make sure that you fill that out as soon as possible. Steph, how you doing?
I'm good, Sam. I'm good. The Knicks lost last night, and I'm not as down as I guess I should be. We 2-0, 2-2, excuse me, on this West Coast road trip. Who would have thought heading into it with an opportunity to go 3-2? So I'm pretty good overall, and as far as the Knicks are concerned.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I was thinking about it as I was getting everything ready for the show. I'm like, man, last night's game feels like it was 2 days ago for me already. You know what I mean?
Right.
Know, so much always happening. Feels like it feels like it was like 2 days ago. But the Knicks played OKC, and I agree with you. They have a chance to leave 3-2 from this West Coast trip. And if they can leave 3-2, that's a successful trip.
Yep.
That's successful. You know what I mean? Even though the last 2 games left us feeling kind of bad, they'd come home with an even record. They'd have a few days to rest before they got to take on the Portland Trail Blazers. But the last time the Knicks played OKC, that's the game that really prompted the team dinner, and tons of speculation about if the Knicks go to this West Coast trip and lose every single game, Tom Thibodeau could be fired, players could be moved, and all kinds of stuff, right? How do you see this game taking place tonight? Where do you think the Knicks' mental state is regarding this game?
I think it's an important game for them. I think they know it's an important game, and I think Tibbs knows it's an important game because Tibbs bailed on that game earlier than usual. Right? Randall didn't play the fourth quarter. RJ played like 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. I mean, they came into the fourth quarter down 15, and I think at some point Tibbs was like, "We got to get the next one." And he usually doesn't do that. He usually going to play every game, whether you're down 29.
Right.
He's playing it to the end, putting in the bench with 50 seconds left. So I think even he knew, like, you know what? I want that game tomorrow. So, yeah, I think they'll be ready.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll be ready mentally. I'm just hoping that physically they can be ready because RJ's not been feeling well. Julius Randle's not been feeling well. And I'm not using that as an excuse for him. As far as I'm concerned, if you're able to get out there on the court, then you got to give 100%. You know what I mean? Right. For me, I'm more, the medical staff, coaching staff, if you got some guys that really aren't feeling well, don't play them. Have them sit. Don't let that be an excuse for them not playing well or shooting well or having heavy legs or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
It sure looked like it yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It sure looked like it last night. I didn't know about Randall being sick, but there was times when he looked like he was stuck in cement, and they were getting the offensive rebounds, second and third opportunities right around them, and he's
Yeah.
just standing there.
Yeah.
So
You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like, listen, if guys are sick, just don't play. You know what I mean? Coaching staff, keep them out. The players are going to play regardless. You know what I mean? If they feel like they can go, they're going to go. It's up to the coaching staff and the training staff to keep them out. For the Knicks, Cam Reddish, he's questionable for tonight. Derrick Rose is questionable for tonight. I would think both of them are going to sit out tonight. You know, especially Cam Reddish with a sore groin. You know what I mean? Those things can be tricky and can last for a while if you don't take care of them. You know what I mean? So I would think he'd probably sit out, and Derrick Rose would probably sit out, which means, I mean, you seen last night, Tom Thibodeau didn't go with Evan Fournier. He went with Miles McBride when Rose didn't come back in the second half. You know, opting to go for defense over offense. And I'm looking to see tonight, if Derrick Rose is out, if Miles McBride is that guard that comes off the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that tells you the story on Evan Fournier, if that's the case. You know, if Miles McBride comes out tonight, and given the way the last game went, OKC scored 145 points. You know, he may be looking like, yeah, we need defense out there on the floor. We had scoring last game. We need defense. You know what I mean? For OKC, they have a number of people that could be out tonight. Their center, AP, he's out for tonight's game. Trey Mann, and he only, he played limited minutes. I think 12 minutes or something like that in the last game. But he's out. Isaiah Joe, he's also out. Right, so a couple of bench guys are out, and then their starting center is out. And AP in the last game versus the Knicks, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 50% from the field, 50% from the three-point line, and 5 for 8 from the field altogether. So he had 12 points. So he did, have an impact on the basketball game. I mean, the last game, all around, OKC shot well in the last game. It was ridiculous with the way that they shot in the last game. And the Knicks cannot let that happen again tonight. There's no way. You know what I mean? When you look back at the last game, there wasn't a lot of rebounds to go around, right? Because, I mean, for the most part, the Knicks shot the ball well from the field. They didn't shoot it that great from the three-point line. 35 rebounds for the Knicks. They lost the game 145-35, 145-135. 35 rebounds for the Knicks. 38 rebounds for OKC. The Knicks had 25 assists, 31 assists for OKC, 13 steals for the Knicks, 9 for OKC, 2 blocks for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson didn't play, right? Mitchell Robinson didn't play that game. He should play tonight. Not sure how many minutes he'll play, though. 5 blocks for OKC. Knicks only 13 turnovers. OKC 19 turnovers. And I'm tempted, I want to say the Knicks took advantage of those turnovers. They scored 135 points. They just couldn't stop OKC from scoring. OKC shot 62.5% from the field. That's a ridiculous number. 62.5%. They shot 54.8% from the three-point line and 90% from the free throw line. Those are ridiculous shooting numbers. And this is after the Knicks had a franchise-setting first quarter against OKC. The Knicks basically, shot their average, a little bit above average from the field, 49.5%, 32.3% from the three-point line, and 87.9% from the free throw line. That was the previous matchup.
Right.
What do you think? And we'll get to the starting lineup after this, but what do the Knicks have to do? First of all, I do not see OKC shooting this well tonight. Right? That's a one-time thing. That's not going to happen. If it happens again, then, maybe this matchup just isn't for us. Right? There's no way that they're going to shoot that well again. But what do you see the Knicks have to do tonight?
The perimeter defense has to be better, and the transition defense has to be better. And the Knicks have to shoot better. I mean, this is what makes it hard for the Knicks. When like they scored 135 points. So in this particular game, offense isn't the issue. And on the season, the offense really hasn't been much of an issue, but it's the defense. It's the perimeter defense. It's guarding the 3-point line, and it's the transition defense. The Knicks don't give up a lot of. The Knicks don't turn the ball over a lot, but their transition defense is so poor that the other team is scoring on just about every turnover they get.
Right.
So I think those three things: perimeter defense, um, transition, and transition defense. And there was something else: perimeter and 3-point defense.
Yeah. And we even seen it last night with the transition defense, primary and secondary transition defense. The Knicks just aren't very good, at getting back and defending the ball, defending people who are running the lanes. I don't know. The
They're scoring
communication.
off of made baskets.
Yeah, off of made baskets. The communication this season has been terrible.
Yeah.
It's really been bad. One play in particular last night, which was Julius Randle's fault, but I still think points to communication. Phoenix came down, and it's in transition. Phoenix came down. Mikal Bridges comes through the baseline and is in the corner. Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson both are playing help defense because the ball is on the wing. They're both playing help defense, but on the same guy.
Right.
And then when Bridges comes across through the baseline, Randle is looking like who has him because he thinks he's got the guy out on the wing. Jalen Brunson also thinks he's got the guy out there on the wing, and Mikal Bridges is left all alone for a 3-point basket. That's that right there is just a big indicator of bad communication.
Right.
And it's been happening the entire season.
Yep.
And hopefully over the Thanksgiving break, they don't play until Friday after tonight. They get a chance to practice a little bit, enjoy Thanksgiving with their family, and then get a chance to practice. And if they could do that, maybe they can shore some things up. It won't be bad. Hey, if they win this game and then they go into that break, that little bit of a break, 8-8, get a chance to practice and get ready for a little bit of a home stretch and then some tough games coming up. Right. We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the numbers from the previous matchup. We cannot have a repeat of that tonight because if we do, it's going to be a wrap. Projected starting lineups for tonight. I'm projecting that Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and iHeart starts. Do you see, from what I seen last night, Mitchell Robinson needs some time to get back in shape, right? There's no doubt about that. So do you see him start? You don't see him starting tonight, do you?
Who they playing? Muscala? Nah, I don't see him starting.
I would think it's
but
going to be
anything could happen, but he needs some more time.
He needs some time. And it could be, I'm assuming it's going to be Muscala. Yeah, Mitch definitely, he definitely didn't look like he was in shape. For the OKC Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams. There's two Jalen Williams, Jalen Williams. The other Jalen Williams is actually questionable, or maybe he's playing in the G League. And then Mike Muscala at the center position. Okay, so last game, ladies and gentlemen, SGA and Josh Giddey, they killed us. They killed us right there. How are you seeing these matchups tonight, Steph?
I think that I would put Barrett on Giddey, Grimes on SGA, Brunson on Jalen Williams is 6'6" though, but Giddey is 6'8",
6'8".
So, yeah. So it's like trying to who can you put Brunson on because all of them are pretty tall. Unless you have him on SGA, who's what 6'4", but he's potent.
Well,
you know, he may not have
actually,
the.
so
Mhm.
these are just the way that the lineups are set in like NBA.com. I actually
Oh, okay.
have Quentin Grimes guarding SGA.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think it'll be. Quentin Grimes, like just like you said, Quentin
Right.
Grimes guarding SGA and RJ Barrett guarding Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
You know,
And that leaves Brunson on Jalen Williams, who's 6'6", but really hasn't been, what, 9 points, 6 points a game or something like that.
yeah, right. So I mean, but I guess he can't guard Lou Dort because Lou Dort is so much bigger and stronger, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't like the matchup with Randall guarding Lou Dort last time. I felt like Lou Dort was really getting the best of him as far
Right.
as Randall guarding him. He was, because he's small compared to Randall, he's small and compact and he's
Mhm.
quicker.
Mhm.
So he was
Mhm.
able to power his way to the basket. I would assume he would do the same thing against Jalen Brunson.
This is not a good matchup for us, and maybe this is why we lost both games last season,
Right.
right? Um,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not a good matchup. Um, yeah, I think that's how it has to be. RJ Barrett and Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes guarding SGA. Quentin Grimes didn't get much playing time the last game. I think, he got like 7 minutes, but that was towards the end of the game when it was kind of a done deal. He how did you think he played last night though? Quentin Grimes.
Who was this again?
Quentin
Oh, I
Grimes.
thought Quentin Grimes was. He really surprised me, just how quick and spry he looked. Obviously he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his legs, but I saw some different wrinkles in his game. Right, I saw him shoot off the dribble. He's a good rebounder for his size. Went coast to coast, laid it up, and his playmaking, which is basically him just reading the defense,
Right.
and making the extra pass.
Right.
So he just knows how to play sim. Those guys that just know how to play. He's one of those.
Exactly.
He knows how to play. Yeah.
Exactly. And I thought he had a good burst. Um,
Hmm.
good first step. His shot
Yeah.
looked, kind of smooth. I mean, I thought he showed a little bit of everything last night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He had 8 assists. He showed, he went off the dribble. He showed that he could create for others. He pulled up off the dribble. He knocked down a 3. You know what I mean? So that was a good showing for Quentin Grimes, and also he's not going to be tentative in letting the ball go.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's going to let the ball go. He's not going to be tentative. And
Right.
with those guys out there, with RJ, with Randall, you need someone who's not going to be tentative to let the ball go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Let me ask you this, because I thought about this last night, and I mentioned it a little bit last night on the post game show. How much do you think, if RJ continues to play the way he's playing, because he's not playing well at all, right? How much do you think we'll see, and Cam Reddish comes back, a lineup with Cam Reddish and Quentin Grimes on the floor at the same time? In that, say Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. And I'm not saying that one of those guys will start over RJ, but
Hmm.
you might just see that lineup out there for a few minutes. And what do you think that lineup could do defensively?
Sam, if it was up to me, I would start that lineup. But I definitely think you're going to see that lineup because think about it. You got Brunson, who he tries hard, he fights, over screens, but there's limitations there.
Right.
You got Grimes on one side of the court and Cam on the other side.
Yeah.
That really ratchets up your perimeter defense. So I think we're gonna see it for more than a few minutes. And if you ask me, sometimes Tibbs like to play guys so that everybody can see. like it was with Kimba. Like it's time,
Right.
and I think that's what's happening with RJ. So everybody can see. So when he does go to the bench,
It's
it's
no.
not gonna be like, what are you
What are you
doing?
doing? Right. Right. Because RJ is playing. He's playing bad basketball right now. From his shot selection to his defense. You know what I mean? He's just not playing good basketball. You know what I mean?
And there's a difference. Oh, sorry.
No,
Continue.
no, I was just gonna say, he's just struggling out there. I think he's forcing a little bit too.
No doubt about it. There's a difference between not shooting well and not playing well.
Yeah.
And he's just not playing well overall. And this is the first time, Sim, that I'm starting to think, is he trying to get his average, or is he feeling um a way that this is turning into a Brunson Randall's team, and I
Right.
got to make sure I assert
I'm in there.
myself. Like, I don't know. This is the first time I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm starting to think that that's creeping in, because sometimes he just puts his head down and just
Yeah.
decides, I'm going to take this shot, or I'm going to go to the basket, and it doesn't matter
Right.
what else is happening on the court.
Right. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. And it could be, you know what I'm saying? Because, obviously, the talk was about RJ being able to step up to another level, and, he's going to be the first or second option on the team. He's taking the most shot attempts.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's averaging like 16 shot attempts per game, and then it's Randall, and then it's Brunson. Randall at 15, Brunson I think at 14. But his shot attempts aren't always good. He's obviously not shooting the ball. I mean, he's shooting the ball just anytime he lets it go, I'm cringing like, oh gosh.
Right.
And maybe that is creeping into his mind a little bit. Even though his
Yeah.
contract hasn't started, the whole, he's got a contract now. I'm pretty sure he sees, talk on social media. So he's, some of that stuff starts to creep in.
Right.
But he's just, he's not there. And I mean, now you're talking, this is the 18th game of the season.
Yeah. And you know what I don't understand, Sam? His difficulty finishing at the rim, because he's so strong.
Right.
And sometimes he initiates the contact and will knock the player off their spot. And you're like, oh, he got this. And it's coming off the other side.
Right.
Like, the ability to absorb the contact and still make the basket, like, he has to get better at that. You've
Yep.
seen it with Cam Reddish. Absorb the contact and still make the basket.
Right.
He should be able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, do you think at some point Tom Thibodeau would take him out of the starting lineup and go with Grimes and Cam? Because, I mean, defensively,
If he gets the same minutes,
yeah, if he gets the
then
same
you can
minutes,
argue that. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
If he gets the same minutes, still get his 30 minutes a game. I just don't know if Tom Thibodeau will do it though. You know what I mean? It's
And
like,
is that something you have to ask the organization, or can you just do it?
right. I know. They say, Tom Thibodeau has total autonomy over who plays. That's what they say. You know what I mean? But in Knicks Nation, it'll be that'd be big news. You know what I mean? That'd be big news if he decided to bench RJ, and went with Cam and went with Quentin Grimes, especially since RJ just got that contract. That would,
Right.
yeah, that'd be a tough
But
one.
I'm thinking it would be. But I think the fans right now, because of this sample size right now, wouldn't be calling for Tom Thibodeau's neck, because I think the fans now see that he's really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his minutes should come down anyway. From it says 33, his average for the season, but you can't tell me he's not averaging like 36, 37 minutes a game. And I think that's only because he sat a few fourth quarters. He
right.
plays a lot of minutes.
Yeah. Right.
So if he comes off the bench and playing 33 minutes a game, I think that's good for RJ.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it's gonna happen though.
No, I don't think so either. I was doing the Westchester Knicks show last night, and ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure you check it out. And we're actually courtesy of NBK, Dope Soul Sports Talk, and Knicks and Bruises. We're doing a giveaway for tomorrow's home opener. The home opener is the Westchester Knicks are playing in Bridgeport. All right, so we have 2 tickets right behind the players' bench. Right behind the players' bench. So if you're interested in attending, there's a link pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. Okay? Pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. Make sure you click on that link. It's also in the description of the video. And I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat one more time. Go there, fill out the form. And we have 2 tickets that we're giving away. And we'll have tickets that we'll be giving away on NBK, Dope Soul, Knicks and Bruises throughout the season. All right, so make sure you check that out. But when I was doing the show last night, I think it was Margaret Edwards. I don't know if she's in the chat right now, but she said to bring up Farron Hunt and send RJ to the G League. That's how rough it's been for RJ right now, man. Yeah. It's been a rough one for RJ. But ladies and gentlemen, those are your projected lineups for tonight. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Isaiah Hartenstein. And for the OKC Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, and Mike Muscala, because AP is out. And right now, as far as the 2:30 report, Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose are both questionable for the Knicks. Do you expect, looking at that second unit now, if Derrick Rose is not there, and obviously you don't have Cam Reddish or Quentin Grimes, now you're talking about Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, Mitch or Jericho Sims, one of the two. Last night, both of them played because Hartenstein got into some foul trouble. Maybe Mitch did too. But Mitch, just didn't look in shape last night. And then you have Deuce, right? Do you expect that unit, at least for tonight's game, to be able to win their bench matchup without Derrick Rose there?
Over the past 2 games, Derrick Rose has been playing really well for us. Especially on the offensive end, hitting his shots, getting in the lane, playmaking. The bench only had 20 points last night. I didn't count McBride because he came in and, when
Right.
it seems like
Right.
the game was pretty much out of reach. They only had 20 points. You take Rose out of that. Obi seems to be slumping a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say they bounce back, Sim. I'm gonna say they bounce
Okay.
back, but basically you're resting on IQ, OB. You're not getting anything from Mitch and Sims unless it's alley oops or what have you, right?
Right.
Um,
Last game, Emmanuel Quickley had 24 points and 5 assists. Now, of course, there was a lot of points scored. There was 135 points scored. But yeah,
the last OKC
the last
game.
The last OKC game. OKC game.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, 24 points and 5 assists. We'll see if he can, maybe this is a matchup that's good for him. We'll see if he can duplicate that effort, or maybe not 24 points, but, play well off the bench. That's what's going to be needed for Emmanuel Quickley tonight. A couple of their bench guys are out. Isaiah Joe, Terrence Mann is questionable. You know what I mean? So, they got a couple of guys out, bench guys out tonight that could, change the way that their bench looks a little bit. Right? As far as the team comparison, we looked at the previous matchup. I'll look at that one more time, and then we'll, look at the overall matchup. The previous matchup, again, they outscored us 145 to 135. Right, and then they outshot us. You see the numbers that's on the board. They shot 62.5% from the field. That's crazy. That's just crazy. 62.5% from the field, 54.8% from the three-point line, and 90% from the free throw line. Those are crazy numbers. And just to give you an idea, they shot 31 threes. All right, so they were 17 for 31 from the three-point line. Not a crazy amount of threes. And they were 55 for 88 overall. They shot they had 20 free throw attempts. The Knicks had 33 free throw attempts. The Knicks have been doing a good job getting to the line. As a matter of fact, getting to the line has allowed the Knicks to stay within an earshot in games.
Right. Right.
If they aren't getting these free throw attempts, some of these games would have been bad, really, really bad. And this is how RJ is getting a lot of his points.
Right.
By getting to the free throw line. If RJ can begin to shoot efficiently, and still get to the line, I mean, he's averaging 18 points per game because he's getting to the line a lot, not because he's shooting well. If he starts to shoot well, he can get that average up to 23, 24 points a game.
Right.
Then we need RJ to defend well, too.
Yeah. And he didn't look this bad defensively last year, so I'm not sure what's going on.
I don't know. I've seen some people mention and say that they feel like he's a little heavier. I don't know if he is or not, but they feel like he's a little heavier and looks a little slower than last year.
But I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was going to say I'd have to go and look and see, what his weight was last year and what his weight is this year, and compare it, to see, or did he add muscle, and is that muscle slowing him down? You know what I mean?
Right. I remember Carmelo, LeBron, like all of these guys, they did something. I forget what it was to kind of really slim themselves down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think RJ needs to do that. And I don't think he's a big, chunky guy by any stretch, but the way his mobility is anyway,
right,
he might want to consider that.
Right, because he needs as much speed as possible.
Right.
As much speed as he can muster up. He needs it.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Looking at their numbers for the season, ladies and gentlemen, right now the Knicks are 8-9 on the season. OKC is 7-9, so they're not that far apart record-wise. The Knicks are averaging 112 points per game, 46 rebounds, 23 assists. OKC is averaging 116 points per game, 44.8 rebounds, and 25 assists. 7.3 steals for OKC. For the Knicks, 8.3 for OKC. And that, we don't want to let these guys get out running because,
right,
if we let them get out and run, we got to protect the ball. We let them get out and run, it could be a problem for us. 6.4 blocks for OKC, 5.1 for the Knicks. I'm glad Mitch is back so that he can help that perimeter defense, or at least cover up for the perimeter defense. Let me say that. The Knicks are shooting 44.6% from the field, 31.5% from three, and 79, basically 80% from the free throw line. OKC, 47% from the field, 34% from three, and 76% from the free throw line. All right, so they're a better shooting team than the Knicks are right now, and they're a better defensive team than the Knicks are. And I actually thought the previous game was going to be, I didn't think the Knicks were going to score 135 points on them, and I felt like the Knicks were going to, I didn't think that they were going to score that many points. I thought it was going to be, I don't want to say slower paced, but more of a defensive game, and it ended up being, this fast break, high scoring affair. And against Utah, I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a high scoring affair, and it ended up being a slower paced game. But obviously against Utah, the Knicks were really focused in trying to, get the game back that they just lost to go to OKC. Right. You know what I mean? Tonight, I agree with you as far as, what keys we need to use to win this basketball game. Got to defend that perimeter.
Right.
I think that's going to be the big key to the game. Defend the perimeter. Stop letting guys get open 3-point shots. You seen what they did last game, 17 for 31. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Shooting a high percentage. We can't let them shoot that high percentage again. And then I'm just hoping they have, defend the perimeter. I agree with you. Transition defense. Get on the boards, rebound the ball. I think we got beat on the boards last night versus Golden State as well.
No, Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix.
60-39, Sam.
Yeah, 60-39.
Mm.
and we played a good first half.
Yep, exactly.
Played a good first half. We were battling the entire half. And that third quarter, man, they just started picking our defense apart. And figuring out where the holes were, and then capitalizing on it, and there was really nothing the Knicks could do. I mean, the game was, when I seen that one play where, what's his name was open in the corner, and Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, were both guarding the same guy, even though they were sagged in the paint and guarding the same guy. I kind of knew right there. I was like, this game is done.
Right.
The Knicks they're not in it. You know what I mean? They're not in it mentally. They're not communicating, but I guess this would be a good barometer for the team, right? Because this is the game. This is the team that prompted your team meeting. You went 2-2 afterwards, played some good basketball, played some bad basketball. Now you can come in, and if you can pull out a win here, maybe it tells you a story about where your team is.
Right.
Correct. Anything else you see the Knicks need to do tonight?
You mentioned the transition defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they definitely need to do that, and and rebound. And you mentioned that as well. Especially off the offensive glass, they had 22 offensive rebounds to the Knicks 10. So the Knicks have to secure the rebound. And keep them off the glass. Shouldn't be too much of a problem with this team, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. The defense, the rebounding, offensively continue to move the ball and move their bodies. Like, I get it when somebody is hot, you want to feed them, but you got to be quick when they miss a few to get back to the offense.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see how Quentin Grimes does. He at least for the first half, he did a decent job on Devin Booker last night. Right. He's gonna get that SGA assignment tonight, and that's gonna be, you come in and you start 2 games and you got 2 assignments like that. How do you see, how do you see him dealing with SGA tonight?
I think he'll do. I think he'll do okay. Listen, with somebody like that, like a budding star, you're not gonna stop him. You just want to slow him down. You just want to make it harder for him. And I think the key is staying attached.
Right.
And when you do get hit with a screen, fighting over it and trying to get back in it, but a lot of getting back in it really depends on that center hedging and holding until you can get back around. And Sims does it the best on the team. So I think he's gonna do fine. I think, how tall is SGA?
I think he's 6'6".
6'6". So he gives up a few inches to him, but I think he's up for the task. He's who I would put on him.
Yeah, you got to.
For sure.
I'm definitely not putting RJ on him. No. Right? I'm not putting RJ on him. So, Quentin Grimes is the only guy that you can really put on him, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And then let RJ deal with Josh Giddey, and even that's a scary proposition because, Josh Giddey can shoot it from the 3-point line. I mean, the last 2 times he's played the Knicks, he's dropped a triple-double.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So he had a triple-double last game. Let's hope that he doesn't have a triple-double tonight. I think we need Julius Randle to play a good basketball game tonight.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The last time they played OKC a couple of days ago, he played a good game, 25 points, 10 rebounds. We need a similar type of night from Julius Randle, but he's got to be better on the defensive side of the ball. If he's guarding Dort, Dort matched his output for the most part. Dort had 24 points and 3 rebounds. Right? I just don't feel like that's a good matchup for Julius Randle, though, if he's got to defend Dort. and that's what they did last time. Now, Pokusevski,
Mhm.
AP is not playing tonight, so that might
Oh, he's not?
he's not
Oh,
playing,
okay.
right? He's out tonight. So that
Right. Yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah.
changes their lineup. Now I had Mike Muscala. Let me see. Last game they went a little bigger, right? They started Jeremiah Robinson Earl at the center spot and AP at the forward spot,
Right.
right? Now tonight, right now I have in the lineup Jalen Williams at power forward and then Mike Muscala at the center spot. Jalen Williams he's 6'5". I don't know. Maybe they feel like the Knicks are too big and they still try to remain big, but I'm not sure who else they threw out there. I guess they could
Right.
start. Jeremiah Robinson Earl. He's 6'8". They could start him at power forward and start Mike Muscala at the center position.
Right.
Something like that, with AP being out. To try to at least match the size of iHeart and Julius Randle. It could be something like that.
Right.
We'll
But we've
see.
seen smaller players guard Julius Randle, so they might put Dort on Randle. And
Yeah.
Brunson, who's left? Jalen Williams at 6'5", the
Right.
rookie.
Right.
You know.
Or if they do decide to go bigger, right, and start Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and Mike Muscala. If they go big, if they go that big, I'm not sure who. Jalen
Right.
Brunson guards. If they go that big, I'm not sure who he guards.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see later on tonight how that matchup works out. Any prediction for tonight's game?
The Knicks win.
I think so too.
The Knicks win. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to be motivated. I think they want this one back. They probably feel like they let that go. The first game, and they want this one back. So I'm expecting them to come out with some energy, play hard, come away with a win, leave the road trip 3-2. Go into break feeling good about themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Parrish Duggar, thank you for the super chat. He said, Golden State just sent a healthy Wiseman to the G League. Yeah, I did see that. I seen that. But, Golden State and New York are, two different situations. I know Golden State's record is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But still, they got some guys over there where, Golden State eventually is going to get back on top of their record.
Right.
You know what I mean? Any other thoughts, Steph, before we get out of here? Because I do got to get to practice.
I'm interested in seeing the Grimes matchup with SG, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking to see if RJ improves his floor game. Even if his shooting doesn't improve, does his floor game improve?
Yeah.
And I'm also interested in, Randall. I don't know if he's sick, but I need him to be more active defensively. And what's going to happen with that center rotation? We played all three last game. I don't think that's going to continue.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what happens there.
Right. Yeah, iHeart hasn't been playing that well while Jericho Sims is playing really well. And iHeart, while he's able to hit that little floater, hasn't really been knocking down threes. And that kind of, if he's not going to hit the three consistently, it kind of takes away what you brought him here for. One of the things you brought him here for. You know what I mean? So I think it is going to be interesting to see what Tom Thibodeau decides to do with that center rotation going forward. Now that you have all three back, I did have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Quentin Grimes is starting, and he played well last night. Let's say he plays well tonight. When Cam Reddish comes back, what do you think happens? I mean, I would assume that at the very least, Tom Thibodeau expands the lineup back to 10.
Right.
right? Because I think you need Cam Reddish's defense out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Right, but
I think it goes back to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but do you think Cam Reddish goes back into the starting lineup, or is that position still up in the air?
I think if he comes back tonight, he'll probably go into the starting lineup. But if he's out 3-4 games and Grimes is playing well, I don't think he goes back into the starting lineup, because you got to remember the organization and Tibbs is behind Grimes. I'm not sure how they feel about Cam long term, you know. And like we talked about, I don't think RJ is going to the bench.
No.
So it's between Grimes or Cam. And I think if Grimes has another good showing, unfortunately, by default, I think Cam goes to the bench, even though I like both of them in the starting lineup.
I know you do. I kind of like both of them in the starting lineup too. Just the way that RJ is playing. I mean, because I feel like if Cam Reddish took the number of shots that RJ is taking, he'd probably average 18. Maybe he doesn't get to the line as well as RJ though. Right.
Or rebound as well.
Yeah, that's true. Or rebound as well. You know, that is another thing. But defensively, you know what he brings.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. I kind of like the way that lineup right there looks too. I don't think we're going to see that. You know,
not to start. Maybe we'll see some minutes during the game.
I mean, maybe we'll see some minutes during the game, but I don't think they're going to start that lineup. Yeah, but you know, at some point, you would think he has to go with that lineup for defense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Please make sure, if you are interested in going to see the Westchester Knicks tomorrow, the game is in Bridgeport. That's where they're playing. Fill out the form that's pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. It's also in the description of this video. All right. And I'm putting it into the chat once again. All right. So make sure you click on the link, fill out your information. Tonight, not during the postgame show, after the postgame show, I'm going to do another Westchester Knicks show, and we'll choose the winner there. All right. And that show will be like 10, 15 minutes long, just so we could talk a little bit and then choose the winner. And there you go. You'll be on your way to see the Westchester Knicks tomorrow. The tickets are right behind the bench, ladies and gentlemen. Great tickets. So make sure you fill out that form if you're interested in going. All right. Steph, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining in. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Queens Court. 6:30 or 7, somewhere around there. Make sure your notifications are on.
Right.
Between 6:30 or 7, Queens Court, because the Knicks play tonight at 8.
Yeah, there you go. So look for the notification. As a matter of fact, you'll probably get that notification within the next 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so look for the notification. Check it out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. We appreciate your time. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.